Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, Psycho 2 is one of my more favourite films. I love the Psycho series in general, but like a lot of films in my video store, they didn't have the original film, they had the sequels. So I saw Psycho 2 and 3 before I saw Psycho. I saw Psycho on TV. Actually, no, I did see it first. I saw it on TV first. But on video, I saw the other films and then saw Psycho 3 years later when I bought my own copy, which is often what happened with Friday the 13th and Amityville and all those ones. I saw the sequels first on video a bunch of times, then I ended up buying the original films and then getting the sequels. But this film is very interesting. Directed by an Australian man. It was made after Hitchcock died. The people had wanted a Psycho sequel for years because it was such a big hit, but Hitchcock refused to do it. Then he passed and basically the rights were fair game, and they also did a Birds too and so forth. But it's a very interesting film. They take up Norman's story 22 years later. He's being let out of the asylum, considered cured, and being returned back to the hotel to run it and try and have a normal life. But of course, Vera Miles is not going to let Marion's death go unnoticed, and she puts together a petition and she tries to stop him from getting out, and then she starts harassing him once he's been released. And it's an interesting take in this film where basically Norman is the victim. Norman is a sympathetic character, but he sort of was in the first film. You felt that he was victimised by his mother. And I can't remember how much I didn't talk about that in the review for the first video. But we see these people are trying to drive him crazy again. And it starts to work. He starts to question himself, and then a third party comes in, and it turns out to be someone claiming to be his real mother, claiming that Norma Bates wasn't his mother, that she was just taking care of him, that she had been put in an asylum when she was younger, her child had been taken away, her sister, Norma, took him in as her own, and he never knew that that wasn't his real mother. So then he starts to believe this different narrative, and he starts to hear her. And of course, I'm giving away too much, but the people who are trying to sabotage him, they're calling up pretending to be his mother, they are aware that he's talking to someone else. At first they think he's totally lost his mind. He's actually, some of the time, listening to this other woman calling him up. So that's an extra sort of element that we don't sort of really get till the end of the film. And the whole film is him basically getting out of the asylum, going home, setting up the hotel, kicking out the guy who's running it, who basically was just using it as an adult hotel on the edge of town for people to go have affairs and stuff and do drugs. He cleans it up, he repaints it, he's basically getting it ready to be, a decent hotel again. This girl, he's working in a diner at first, but then he quits it to take over, to start running the hotel again. But while he's there, he meets a young girl, she's got relationship troubles. He invites her to stay at his house. He doesn't know that she's actually working for Vera Miles' character, Marion Crane's sister. I'm suddenly forgetting her name. And yeah, they plot together, but then someone starts actually killing people. The guy running the hotel is killed. A couple of kids who are making out in the basement are attacked, and one is killed. And we don't quite know who's doing this. Has Norman snapped and started killing people? Is Vera Miles' character killing people to blame him? Is this other woman killing people to protect him? It's very interesting and very complicated. It's quite a good film. And in the end, Norman, I don't want to give away the end because it's brilliant. There's this moment, I still don't know how they filmed it. I've watched it and paused it a bunch of times, like, how did they do that? It's simple, but it's just so it's one of those moments where everyone goes, whoa, okay, and it sets up the ending for a different era of Norman and Norman's reign of terror over Fairville. And it's lovely. They use the original house, they use the original hotel, though they did have to do a matte painting to cover all the studio that was built up behind it since the 60s. And you do see the house all the time. There are some great shots, some beautiful matte shots looking down from the sky past the top sort of floor and everything. It's just really great the way they treat the house like a character. They really focus on it. The film actually begins with the shower scene and the slow sort of tracking shot over to the window of the house in black and white, and then the house sort of just sort of fades and goes to dark and turns into colour, and then begins to be a new shot that's lined up perfectly of the new house. And the music score is amazing. It's actually quite haunting. The mother's theme, the main theme by Jerry Goldsmith, I actually listened to that on repeat while I was packing up my mother's stuff at her house after she passed, so I can't not hear that and not think of that time. And it's probably why I avoided watching it for quite a while, because I didn't want to remember that. But it's still beautiful, and it didn't trigger me or anything. But it's a great film. It's a great sequel, one of the best sequels ever made. It's psychological, it's interesting, it's got, you know, some interesting, well choreographed murders. It's just a really great film. I'm so glad they made it, and it's just a pity where the next film goes, which is very disappointing. But I'm going to review that, so feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Psycho 2, and if you haven't seen it, you definitely have to see it.